Hi, it's Taylor T. Carlson, and I'm back with another video for you. Back to video games today. Of course, I've been going through a lot of my old systems, old games, and I thought it might be time to revisit some of the classics. Of course, anyone who knows video gaming knows Mario, so I thought this would be a good time to go back and look at Mario's big break, Super Mario Bros. From 1985. Mario had appeared in games prior to this, namely Donkey Kong Jr., where he was the villain, and the arcade game Mario Bros., which also introduced his brother Luigi, but this game would be the turning point. This would be where Mario started to become a household icon all around the globe. In 1985, toward the end of the year, the NES was released in North America, and it's not exactly clear as to whether or not Super Mario Bros. Was a launch title in America when the NES was released. It was not a launch title in Japan because the Famicom, their version of the NES, came out way back in 1983. The game is a platformer, and it's tough to say if this is like the first modern platformer, but it's certainly the game that really put the genre on the map. This game introduces a lot of elements to the Mario franchise that we've since come to associate with the character. It was the first game to feature Bowser as the villain, as well as the whole Koopa tribe, who have largely been the villains in most of the subsequent Mario games. It introduces Princess Peach and Toad, and overall, the game consists of 8 worlds, each with 4 levels, so an overall total of 32 stages. You'll scroll from left to right throughout the stage. You can't go back once you've passed an area, and you'll find super mushrooms that can make you big. Again, these have appeared in nearly every side-scrolling Mario game ever since. For the next power-up, you'll find the Fire Flower, which lets you shoot fireballs, and rarely you'll find the Starman, which makes you temporarily invincible to most hazards. As you're scrolling through the stages, you're going to have a time limit, so you don't want to waste too much time, and all the while you're avoiding all kinds of hazards, all kinds of enemies. Most of the major Mario enemies that people have come to know and love and associate with this series got their start in this game. World 1-1, where the game begins, is a pretty typical introductory level to all of the things you'll expect to find later in the game, although you do meet a few new enemies and other hazards later on. But I like the fact that this game was actually designed with the beginning player in mind. It's easy to learn but tough to master, and there definitely are later levels that will try your patience. At the end of each world, in level 4, you're going to find a castle level where you fight Bowser at the end, and you have to run across a bridge and either use the axe to break the bridge and knock him into the fire, or kill him with fireballs. But either way, you're going to find that it's not the real Bowser, and then you move on and you find one of the Toads has been captured, and he delivers the classic line that the princess is in another castle. And this continues on throughout the game. Most of the levels in the game are the typical ground-based overworld fashion, but then you have a few that are going to be underground, underwater. You may have a few that are on bridges or highly elevated platforms above bottomless pits. And then, of course, you have the castle stage at the end of each level. The game, of course, was created by Shigeru Miyamoto and scored by Koji Kondo, and their work here is definitely a classic for the ages. Now, throughout the game, the difficulty definitely does spike and intensify. It starts pretty easy. You can find things like warp zones in certain levels to skip ahead, and most of the levels in the game do have at least one continue point, so if you do get a lost life, you'll start from the continue point rather than the beginning of the level. The exceptions are the castle levels at the end of each world, which do not have a continue point, and also all of the levels in World 8, the final world of the game. The controls in the game are simple and to the point, and they definitely more than get the job done. You're going to jump, run, move left, move right, crouch, throw fireballs, and it's pretty easy to learn. The one thing I will say is Mario doesn't control in this game quite as well as he does in some of the later platformers, and this is certainly noticeable, often in the absolute worst possible spots. Imagine you're in a level and you've got to make the jump of a lifetime, and things go awry and you find yourself sent back to the beginning of the stage. Definitely not fun, and it will try your patience on more than a few occasions. Likewise, there are a few levels in the game that are basically the exact same as earlier levels, just with like maybe 1 or 2 new hazards added throughout, which is honestly kind of lazy, but I can kind of see where they're coming from, since this is largely the beginning of Mario as we know and love him. There are also a handful of obstacles throughout this game that are just going to get on your nerves countless times. The Hammer Brother enemies in particular, I always found to be the biggest threat and annoyance, and it's very easy to get killed there. On top of that, if you're able to get through the game to World 8-4 and you defeat Bowser and you rescue Princess Peach, or Princess Toadstool as she was known at the time, you'll have the opportunity to go back and replay a harder version of the game, which replaces a lot of the enemies with more challenging ones, and it also reduces the size of the platforms. So if you actually manage to beat the game one time, going through and trying to beat these expert courses could definitely be a fun way to get some replay value out of the game. Unfortunately, there is no stage save feature in the game. Every time you play it, you have to start over from the beginning, although the warp zones can somewhat alleviate this if you know where they are. Later ports and remakes of the game typically include some form of save feature. The Super NES Super Mario All-Stars port of the game lets you save on any individual world, but not individual level. Well, there definitely are a few problems here, and the game hasn't aged quite as well as some of its follow-up titles. The original Super Mario Bros. Is still a classic game, and it's well worth playing. It's been reissued on nearly every Nintendo system ever made over the years, so chances are if you own a Nintendo system, you have some way of acquiring this game, or you may even already have it and not know it. What do you think of Super Mario Bros.? How has it held up over 35 years? Is this one of your favorite games? Is it one you're not as big a fan of? Feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below. I'm Taylor T. Carlson, and I'll see you in my next video game review.